with Nerdette's NewsStand, and I apologize for this video. I just got done watching Watchmen, but I'm kind of still dealing with a cold, so I apologize if it's less than quality. But no, this isn't Watchmen. So, Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons did Watchmen 1986, I believe, and it was probably the best graphic novel, kind of coined the term graphic novel, ever created. Yes, it's political a little bit, so I expected the show to be, and it's by Damon Lindelof, so I didn't expect a whole lot, but this is taking place now, so we're getting a time jump. 34 years later into the future, we're seeing what happens in the Watchmen universe. Oh boy, this is Watchmen in name only. So the episode is called It's Summer and We're Running Out of Ice. Mind you, I'm going to go through this kind of verbatim how the story goes. So it's going to contain spoilers. You can't do something like this without really, because holy racism alert. It starts out in Tulsa in 1921, the race riots that were happening back then. We see like this silent movie thing going, and it's like this Bass Reeves, this black sheriff. So that's the first thing we get. And they're fighting Klan members, like the what's it called? The newspaper says like lynch Negroes and stuff. And this guy is holding a dead baby. Well, we see this mom takes their son, this dad does. And I think that was, at first I was like, that's a little weird, but I get why the dad's carrying him instead of the maternal thing. Like, it's protection, like, right? It's protection. So they go into this room, and there's these people that are about to take off and try to get out of Tulsa. And basically the guy's like, we don't have room for you. So we see Superman's story all over again. The kid gets put in a chest, and the parents stay there while as the kid's going away. Like, the place the parents are in gets blown up. I'm like, holy shit, what am I watching? So they crash, and this kid wakes up, and there's this baby crying, and everybody that was in there is dead. And he picks up this baby, and he walks away. Like, what? What the fuck did I just watch? Okay, so we get, that was in 21. Now we're going to go to 2019, where the real story begins, and this, like, white, hickish character gets pulled over, right? And the cop comes up to the car. He's real scared, like the white guy is. He's real scared, because these cops wear these, like, Antifa masks. So you can't see their face, so they can't be targeted, in their home life. They're not allowed to. We learn later they're not even allowed to tell anybody that they're police. So he opens up his glove compartment to give him his license and registration. The cop sees his Rorschach mask. Now this is going to be this cavalry we're going to learn about is like an interpretation of basically what Rorschach left behind, his journal that he mailed off. So they get it, and they do their very poorly interpreted version of it, like beyond poorly, maybe almost fitting your agenda, Damon. Anyways, so he goes to the car, and we learn, this is backfiring for gun control, because the cop has to have his gun buzzed out when he's scared. Like, the cop doesn't even carry a gun. Like, bro, I carry, are you kidding? Oh my God. So the cop gets killed, and he throws a head of lettuce at him. Like, it's super dramatic. I can't even stand it. We get to, there's this, like, okay, so we get to see John Johnson, who I think he's playing Night Owl from what I can understand. They're seeing a play called Black Oklahoma. Not just Oklahoma, what's existed forever. It's Black Oklahoma. And he gets called out basically because of this carjacking, and he has to, go to the hospital. And then we see this. I was shocked. I had to read this twice. So the main character's name's Angela, and her like code superhero, super tough girl name is Sister Night. And she's talking about baking, okay? She's talking about baking, and she's doing this whole, like, yolk thing. And I was going to have screenshots for all of this, but I had my HBO app up on my phone, and they don't let you take screenshots. Like, that's some bullshit. So I'll have some pictures that I can find around. But she's doing this, like, trying to do an Easter egg to the Watchmen pin. And she's like, talking about the yolks, and she's like, they don't mix well with the whites. You gotta separate them. And I'm like, wait, what? I just found that fucking hilarious. So she's talking to the class about this bakery, and we find out later it's not a bakery. But a little kid in the class is like, did you get that with your Redfordations? Like, and she gets super offended. Like, he just asked a question. But she gets super offended, and her kid ends up attacking him. Like, you just made your kid fight your battle. But they're talking about reparations. Like, why? I don't get it. Anyways, they call the little kid, the 10-year-old. They're like, the kid's like, he's a racist. And she's like, nobody's a good start. Like, no, quit playing. We see this alarm go off once they leave the school. And there's like the squids that are falling. So I think it's basically, obviously, a callback to Ozzy and the hoax and all of that. But they just disintegrate. And she gets home and she gets a page. Like, it says Little Bighorn. She's got to go to the bakery, right? Like, I'm totally doing air quotes like you can see me. My apologies. There's a man in a wheelchair sitting there who I didn't think had anything to do with anything until the end. But he's like, do you think I can lift 200 pounds? And she's like, sure you can, just like she can. Oh, but wait, she's gonna. Don't you worry. So she gets all dressed up and she gets all, her actual, like, setup is pretty cool. Like, I like it. She looks like a badass nun or something. I don't know. I like how she's set up. But we see this cavalryman speech, and this is the 7th Cavalry. It's the people, then again, that interpreted the works of Rorschach, right? Right? They did a good job interpreting it? No. Like, so just specifically, I'm going to literally say what they say in this speech that they're watching. It says, there was a cop carcass on the highway last night. Soon the black filth will be hosed away, and the streets of Tulsa will turn into gutters, overflowing with liberal tears. I'm dying. Sorry, I'm trying to get through it. Soon, all of the whores, the race traders, they will all scream to save us, but they're going to say no. Don't you worry. They're going to say no. Like, I was like, what? Well, all the liberal tears, like, I was kind of dying, but then I was kind of like, didn't we just get something canceled similar, which was almost better than this? I think it was called The Hunt or something. I did a video on it. It got canceled because, conservative outrage, they're killing Trump supporters. But we get to, I can't even. So we learned that, they go all and they start talking. We learned this Article 4 is basically their gun control. They have to have, you have to be approved for 6 months in order to get a gun. Not only that, but then you have to have, like, immediate danger for cops. They have a gun for 24 hours, or like I said earlier, they have to buzz it out. So isn't this just proving how bad gun control is? How the rights to bear arms is smart? I don't know. I think it's stupid. The one part I did like about this whole, like, section is he says, Don Johnson. His name's Judd. In the show, I keep calling him Don Johnson, but he says, quis custodia epidos custodias. And basically that just translates to who will guard the guards. So it's kind of a throwback to who will watch the Watchmen. And I did like that. I like how they included that. So we find out before. So she's sitting in his office and he's like, get your feet off my desk. And she's like, I have somebody in my trunk. So this bitch, this girl who's like no bigger than I am, beats up this guy and puts her in his trunk. Or him in her trunk, whatever. Dude, no, I'm not kidding. You are no bigger than me, and I got beat up by a cat this morning. This shit ain't real. You may have more muscles than me, but honey, you couldn't lift that grown-ass 200-pound man. I'm just saying the obvious. No, that would not happen. Would they take this guy to this pod? But before they do, this girl, okay, she goes, I got a nose for white supremacy. And he smells like bleach. Like, I know they're trying to, obviously, white supremacy is not a real issue right now. But the way they go about it is mind-boggling. They take him into this pod, and this part's cool, too. This new character, Looking Glass, he basically has screens around him going around different stimuli, and then he's asking him questions at the same time, and he's basically able to judge whether he's lying or not by looking at his pupils. He's like the human lie detector! And it totally works. So he's able to tell, that this guy is bleach. He's a white supremacist. They say, he's at the cattle ranch. They got to go to this cattle ranch. Well, they get to this cattle ranch, and all these Rorschach people are basically taking batteries out of old watches because batteries contain lithium, cause cancer, that kind of thing. They're making a big cancer bomb is what I'm assuming they're doing. Well, they notice that these cops are there. And they get out their, I don't know what kind of gun it is. It's a massive gun. Where the fuck did you get this, massive machine gun? And they are, plowing down all these people. Mind you, none of them get shot, because of course they don't. But the cows! Does anybody else feel bad for the cows? They were torn the fuck apart. I felt bad for the cows, I'm not gonna lie. But, not only on top of that, they have this plane. They have a plane and a machine gun. And the plane takes off in 2 feet. And it's a really old plane. It literally just starts going, and it's already in the air. Come on, quit playing. Well, that's when we do get to see Night Owl ship, and that's why I think that Judd, or Don Johnson, whatever you want to say, is Night Owl. And we'll get to another reason why I think so here. But it ends up, they burn this plane with Night Owl ship. So it crashes. It ends up crashing because he pulls it up too far. Angela, my bad, starts kicking the glass. Mind you, it crashed into the ground. The glass was fine for a whole fucking crash. But this little teeny girl is going to be like, whack, 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 and the glass is going to start to break. Quit playing. Anyways, he jumps up, and he's like, are you okay? And they just start laughing. It's super funny. But then we get to see Ozymandias, and I love, Ozymandias and Rorschach were my favorite in the original books, even in before Watchmen. But I did like them. I think for their polar opposite, for me, it was, I liked the learning about somebody different than myself when it came to Ozymandias. And then, of course, I love Rorschach because I do think he was one of the most integral characters. He didn't, stop in the face of death. He kept his beliefs and he kept true to them. It's what a hero is, right? No. So we get to see Ozymandias, and I'm pretty sure these two people that are basically his servants, Ozzy's very obviously intelligent, super, super intelligent. I'm pretty sure they're androids. Because they don't make any sense. He's sitting there butt-ass naked, and she's like, oh, your thighs are really red. And he's like, yeah, just keep rubbing them. It would be so weird if they weren't androids. And then they make him, it's some anniversary, and they make him a cake. And the manservant, I think his name was Phillips, I don't remember exactly, I should have wrote it down, but he hands him a horseshoe to cut the fucking cake. As funny as it is, I think we're supposed to see that something's off with these two. So I do think they're androids. And he makes him this watch for his anniversary, and he's, you can tell he really loves it. And he's like, I'm doing this, basically a play, and it's going to be called The Watchmaker's Son. Dun dun dun! And that's it. So we go back, and now I'm not going to say that the acting in this wasn't good, because it was absolutely good. They made the characters relatively endearing, even. So we see Judd and his wife, and then Angela and Cal, which is her husband. They're all at dinner, and they're all sitting around the table. They've got all their kids of every single different color, and they're having a meal together. So there's a good relationship between her and Judd there. I think it's a fatherly type relationship from what I can see. At first I was like, this is a little weird. Like, is she going to fuck him or is she going to give him a hug and be like, hi, Dad? So I think it's fatherly. But they we see Judd talking about, I'm sorry you missed, Black Oklahoma. And he basically starts singing, and it's real cute. He's interacting with the kids, and you're like, aw, I know this bitch is going to die, right? Right, because that's exactly what we're going to see here. So they end up, Judd and his wife end up going home, and Judd, his wife calls him out for doing coke at the house, so I don't know why that was added in, but apparently he's got a problem with cocaine. Whatever. And we go back to Angela and Cal, and they're just fucking, they're just straight up having sex, and they get a call, and she's like, I'm almost there, don't answer, and he's like, the kids. But she ends up answering the call, and it's somebody that, with this roadblock when Judd took off, they have Judd. So they ask if, is this your father? Mask, we know who you are. So she goes to this tree, and yeah, Don Johnson is sitting, or Judd is sitting there. He's hanging. So it's kind of like a callback to when we saw the comedian die right in the beginning of Watchmen, right? So not only that, but the reason I mentioned the character before that was in front of the bakery that asked about the 200 pounds, a little old man sitting there, he's sitting there also under the tree. So he's going to have something to do with it. Well, in the beginning when I talked about the Tulsa riots, the little put into the box had a paper with him that said, take care of this boy. Well, now this little old man is sitting under the tree, and he's got a little piece of paper that says, take care of this boy. So this is the same character from the Tulsa riots, and now we got to figure out who he is. Now, is that her grandfather, her father? I think it's got something to do with that. I don't know. But I know in the trailer, I remember when I did the trailer video, he was in it, and I was like, who is this? Because he's like, maybe I'm Dr. Manhattan. I don't know. Anyways, let's break this down. That is exactly what happened. This show was so, it was extremely racist. It was extremely mind-boggling that this day and age with the culture war, with the left versus the right, that this could even go out. I'm honestly shocked. I don't care though. The thing I care about is the fact that they're disrespecting Rorschach, they're disrespecting the characters, and even Alan Moore said he didn't want anything to do with this. Now, seeing it, I totally understand why. But I mean, I guess Alan Moore does hate basically everything, but still, I get his reasoning to not wanting anything to do with this. It is a hot fucking mess. If you want to sit there and be shocked the entire time, go ahead and watch it. It's not worth getting an HBO subscription. No, thank God for free trials. It's something. It is not Watchmen, but it is something. Holy crap, it was. And I apologize. I didn't realize how long it was. I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know if you're going to watch it or what you think. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you want to help support the channel, make sure to check out the links to my Patreon and subscribe star below. But I want to thank my current Patreons, Robert, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Earth Citizen 09, General Zod, who also has a YouTube channel, Troy Reiser, Grand Smear, Mike, Black Knight Fool, and Brucey. You guys help keep this channel up and running, and I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure on the way out to like and subscribe if you are new. Bye-bye.